Hello guys and welcome to yet another video of the World Championship. We are still in the semi-finals, so only 4 players left. And if we take a look at the current standings in the semi-finals, you already saw one game. You guys saw it on this channel, Lawang versus Sanderpo, that went in the favor of Lawang. And the other pair that is also battling it out in the bottom half is EnderWiggin versus Weida. So let's get in there and check that game out. And in this game number 1 between Weida and EnderWiggin, we can see that Weida has the first turn. He uses that to take Hammurabi. EnderWiggin will then follow. And let's take a look at those leaders and wonders. What do we got? We do have the Acropolis and the Roman roads. We have Zizka, but no Sun Tzu. We have Columbus, the Suez Canal. There's also Isabella for colonies. There's no Cook though. We have Bach and Shakespeare. Chaplin, Marlene, no Hollywood, but could still be a very high culture game. We have the Great Wall. We also have military potential, definitely. There's Caesar, Zizka, Joan of Arc, Napoleon, Catherine, Railroad. So yeah, could be both. We will see if these guys want to go for printing presses. I guess there's Leonardo for printing press synergy in H1, but no Gutenberg. Alright, so yeah, Weida takes Hammurabi, EnderWiggin takes Moses. Okay, I didn't expect that. I would have expected the Roman roads, but looks like Roman roads is not in favor of the Chinese players at the moment. He could have gone for Moses next turn, because Weida already has his leader. So I don't understand this move completely, because I still think the Roman roads is a very good wonder. Let's see if Weida will take that one now. He will build the mine. He takes Acropolis for 3 civil actions. Have we really reached this point? Apparently, these are some of the best players and they play like this, so maybe we have reached that point. For Weida, the advantage is now EnderWiggin doesn't get the Roman road still, so yeah, I guess, sure, EnderWiggin will have to take either the Hanging Gardens or Colossus, or just skip HA wonders, something you usually don't want to do. So Weida with that Acropolis. EnderWiggin now goes for Moses. He will increase pop, build that mine, and go for the engineering genius, so pretty standard move. Next turn, if he wants, he can still go for the Colossus, but yeah, could be interesting, but I'm not sure if he will go for that. Weida will go for philosophy, increase pop, grab the drama. Alright, from Weida, this is already a little bit dangerous, I think. Spending 3 civil actions on the Acropolis, now 2 on the drama. EnderWiggin could try to go for Colossus and punish a very greedy Hammurabi. I guess he probably won't do it. He might just go for printing presses instead, because the first copy is here and we will get a culture fest. Because that is the current meta. But I would like to see some disrupting of this meta by EnderWiggin perhaps. And takes breakthrough for 1. We'll start also with a lab. And yeah, I like this Colossus. Mixing it up a little bit. He sees the same that I'm seeing, that is a pretty greedy Hammurabi, who will get warfare and knights if he wants to, but who knows, maybe Weida will play even more greedy. Let's find out. Oh, that is even more greedy. Code of Laws for 3. Weida spending almost all of his civil actions on grabbing things. Sure, he does have Hammurabi, so it's a little bit more easy for him. But still, what is the other stuff he grabs? Urban growth and knights. Okay, so no warfare, but the knights, those could help. The second copy is there though. So if EnderWiggin has a copy or has a tag, he can go for knights too. So I guess a little bit of defense by the Villa, of course. Also get the extra strength from the Acropolis. Yeah, but the knights are a safety measure for him at least. And now EnderWiggin can push the first card. We get the Development of Warfare. he can take that, and Weida can not really. Nope. If he takes the free warrior, he would have an uprising because he has no happy faces. Unless he pushes and gets an extra food or something like that, that could still work. Alright, so EnderWiggin takes the warrior, of course, will start building on the Colossus, takes another breakthrough. Doesn't take the swordsman, but next turn, of course, he can go for knights. He will have a lot of population, thanks to Moses. Yeah, I mean, there's potential here with the extra free warrior. Go for knights, go for something like that. Could go for theocracy. And that, of course, could also be what Weida could use to get the free warrior. I don't know if he likes the theocracy. Also, his hand is full. So let's see what Weida will do here. He pushes, gets the planning that is almost guaranteed to give him the food that he needs. But agriculture, religion, science. But he takes the science. He wants the science instead of the free warrior that he could have taken if he went for the agriculture. Interesting, interesting. He goes for the code of laws, finishes the Acropolis, takes cultural heritage and frugality. Not even going for the theocracy. And leaving Zizka here. Honestly, I think Weida is playing too dangerous. I don't know if all of this is needed, and I think this should be punished by EnderWiggin, and it should be punishable as well. EnderWiggin can go for Zizka, can go for knights, can go for theocracy, and Weida almost has nothing to defend, no population to go for knights. I mean, I guess he has enough population. One population to go for one knight, but will that be enough? He's not had any great card draw, so he probably doesn't have a tactic for those knights. EnderWiggin finishes the Colossus, goes for Zizka, I like that. Goes for knights as well. So he will leave the theocracy. He will reveal a tactic, being the medieval army. And then, sure, next turn he maybe can build one of those knights, start getting the strength. Basically forces Weida to also go for knights next turn. I still need some happy faces. I guess he couldn't go for theocracy, and with Zizka it's probably also not needed. But yeah, of course, he's now up to 4 strength thanks to that Colossus. But he did not push this turn. Did not push, maybe didn't have anything to push. And he also keeps Moses at this point, not replacing him yet with Zizka. Weida now will push, and we get the market, so extra food or rocks. Weida will increase population, go for irrigation. He's still not afraid of any military pressure. Because like this, I guess he can go for knights. Yeah, I guess maybe this is the defensive move. Because with the cultural heritage, he will have the option to go and develop knights. And then even have the population to build at least one. And then there's still Joan of Arc, if he wants extra military actions. Yeah, I guess with the extra population, he can use that to defend, and maybe with Joan of Arc and the urban growth, even go for an extra temple or something like that. I see potential there. I see potential there, especially now with also taking the theocracy, playing his own medieval army. So he will have that for his knights as well. Doesn't have to copy it, can save those MAs. And then EnderWiggin will push, so we get our last development. It will be of crafts. And then we get those knights. Pop once, pop twice, thanks to the development of markets. And then Zizka. So we have military game on our hands. 2 copies, or 2 knights built. 12 strength from Zizka. Or 12 strength from EnderWiggin, doesn't even need Zizka. And he is running to the problem of population for next turn, but he could just destroy Warrior to get the free population again, would still fulfill the tactic, and then Zizka will be doing his stuff. And then he also grabs the irrigation here. Yeah, 12 strength. Can Weida defend against that? Joan of Arc stays on 2. Weida can of course go for theocracy, but I don't think he can make theocracy and knights work, not even with the cultural heritage. And then EnderWiggin could have an aggression, but let's find out if Weida can defend, or what he can do to prepare to defend. First we get the Pestilence. That is not a problem for Weida really. He has the irrigation already. Can build a religion, grab Joan of Arc, elect her, probably also go for theocracy or even build another religion. Build another lab. Okay, once more science production. Then goes for the reduced cost of theocracy. So he had only to pay 2 science for that. That is a great deal, thanks to the Acropolis, of course. And with that, he's at up to 5 strength. Won't be able to defend though. He has no cards in hand. I guess he's drawing 3. If he gets super lucky, no, not even 3 defend cards would be enough to defend. So yeah, EnderWiggin has a chance now. EnderWiggin can, if he does have one, go for an aggression. But first we start into H2. EnderWiggin even draws extra military cards. So maybe it's a war, maybe it's an H2 aggression. And it is. The Spy. 5 science stolen by EnderWiggin from Weida. Thanks to that Colossus, he has that Spy in his hand from H2. And that is a lot of science switching hands quite early. He will destroy a lab. I mean, he sees, alright, I just stole all the science that I need. I can destroy philosophy, wants to keep the strength. No, he also had to destroy the warrior, of course, for that pestilence. And then he had to destroy one more to not have an uprising, so that's why he destroyed that philosophy. And then he will go for irrigation, upgrade once and twice. So next turn he will have enough food to increase pop once. And who knows, maybe even get another knight, get more strength. Probably depends on his hand, if he has more aggressions that he wants to get on Weida. Weida now pushes, and we get the cultural influence 4 to 3, so both of them have a decent amount of culture production. We got the Republic immediately. Republic probably denying it from EnderWiggin. I mean, EnderWiggin needs his civil actions, so yeah, that is still an expensive denial from Weida. Just spending 3 civil actions on denying that, and he doesn't have that many civil actions anymore without having Hammurabis only having 5 civil actions, so more than half of that was spent on denying Republic. He could still go for it himself. I'm not the biggest fan of Republic, but yeah, sure, he got the theocracy super cheap. Republic is only at 7 science, so he could go for it rather cheaply. But let's see what he does with the rest of his turn. Increases pop once, I think. Builds another mine. Alright, another mine. Still can't defend. I wouldn't have hated an extra religion here, but he wants the extra rock protection from the mine. He knows he won't be getting the iron. It's probably going to be too late now. EnderWiggin might steal it and go for it himself. We will find out, but yeah. Extra mine from Weida. Still has population next turn. Can maybe go for knights to be able to defend. But we get a kidnap. How often have you guys seen a kidnap work? And the amazing thing is, EnderWiggin has enough science to go for the Republic immediately. If he wants that, he's gonna score that extra 3 culture. Let's see here. He will. But with the revolution, that also works. That also gives him the 3 extra culture. So EnderWiggin now all of a sudden up to a lot of civil actions, because that is such a cool move. That Weida denies the Republic for 3 civil actions, and EnderWiggin just steals it with the kidnap and uses it immediately. And I guess I agree with the revolution. He still doesn't have corruption, so great turn to do the revolution. And if you spent all of his science, he would go down to 0, and now he still has 10 in his bank after this turn. So yeah, great move from EnderWiggin. And indeed, as I said, his military is paying off. He is punishing Weida for, yeah, maybe being a little bit too greedy with this setup. With this setup versus Zizka, versus an opponent who went Colossus. So EnderWiggin is getting something out of that. Dark Ages are well timed by Weida, so EnderWiggin loses 3 science here, so that definitely hurts him. And Weida loses nothing. Weida will then go for the cultural heritage, increased population. He will finally go for knight. He says he doesn't want to get aggressed anymore. He will go up to 9 strength and goes for the Suez Canal. He hasn't had the best card draw or the most card draws yet. But he has to have a good colony for the Suez Canal. If not, he wouldn't have grabbed this. And then who knows if there might be more colonies in the deck that he's hoping to win. So Suez Canal for him. EnderWiggin could go for Ocean Line. That is very early. So I could see him go for that. On the other hand, he already has the irrigation going and is really missing some rock production. So I'm not sure if Ocean is the best wonder for EnderWiggin. But yeah, Weida will go for the Suez Canal first. And we get a war over territory from EnderWiggin on Weida. And we see the strategy coming out, but sadly EnderWiggin has lost his science that he had stored. He lost 3 science from the Dark Ages, or he could have gone for the strategy, and that would have been very strong. But even like this, I think he can do quite well here. He will build an extra knight, go up to 15 strength, go for a revolutionary idea, and even no, we'll skip the strategy. Weida has 3 science, so he can't go for strategy to defend. And then EnderWiggin grabs an urban growth, and for his last selection, a reserve. So he just wants more resources, more stuff. So reserves and urban growth and the revolutionary idea. Sure, works great. He probably doesn't need the ocean, as I said. And the rest of the techs here, probably not needed either. He doesn't have the science to go for justice system or anything like that. Maybe we're gonna see journalism next turn, but he still needs happy faces, so yeah, it could be hard as well. But at least he will get this war over territory, he will win it, and that will help him a little bit with his happy faces and his yellow bank. And then these extra rocks in his hand look pretty good as well. Can Weida defend? He will destroy a mine, destroy a lab. This is so expensive. Ooh. Builds a knight, builds a warrior, builds a knight, so he will win this war actually. But that was expensive. He had to destroy 1 bronze and 3 philosophy. That is a total of 8 rocks destroyed. And we're at very low production. Both of these players have just 3 rock production. And Weida just destroying things worth 8 rocks. I'm not even sure if it's worth it. I mean, it works for him, I guess. And he didn't really have much else to do. He had no science to go for something like organized religion or something like that. And maybe just 1 knight would have been enough to only lose 1 yellow cube. That could have been fine. Because like this, I mean, he's down to 1 science production as well. So now they have the same production, but Weida will, I mean, he will steal a yellow cube. That will give problems to EnderWiggin at least. And that alone maybe makes it worth it, I'm not sure. EnderWiggin could go for organized religion if he wants, and probably has to. Yeah, I guess EnderWiggin will be forced into organized religion, and then he will be fine with this population. And his happy faces. Interesting game. I thought we would get another culture fest, but I'm happy that we are not. That EnderWiggin mixed it up and Weida has to follow. So EnderWiggin will lose that 1 yellow cube to Weida. Will we see the organized religion? No, we see a strategy. EnderWiggin will develop that, build another religion, a revolutionary idea, grab a patriotism, and journalism. I mean, I'm not sure if skipping organized religion is good here. There is another copy, so that is not a big problem. There's still Bach, maybe for happy faces, and the team sports. And Chaplin and Marlene, so yeah, maybe operas can be enough, but I don't really see him going for that. So organized religion would have been very nice. It doesn't cost too much science, something that EnderWiggin is still lacking by a lot. I'm not sure how he wants to build a journalism with his population at the moment. And he did build an extra religion, so I'm wondering why he doesn't want the organized religion now. But he does get stronger here. So let's see if Weida, who of course sees the top card thanks to Joan of Arc, will push, and he won't. He will grab reserves, he will grab engineering genius, will he build another warrior? He will, so he will be stronger once again. So we can assume that this top card could be either of the players, but I would assume it is EnderWiggin because of the cards that were revealed already. What was it? The Dark Ages and then the Pestilence were probably played by Weida. So I would assume that this top card is played by EnderWiggin, and that could definitely be strength related. And Weida is playing the part as well with building yet another warrior. And EnderWiggin now probably won't push. No, he goes for team sports. Okay, maybe, sure. I mean, team sports cost all of his science, but he will be stronger once again. So after this early aggression style by EnderWiggin and the war, we now have a Cold War around this this H1 card. One big factor could be Napoleon. I mean, if Weida just wants to stay strong, he can't just go for Napoleon because he will give a lot of extra strength. But for now, EnderWiggin will have the lead once again, and some spare civil actions too. Okay, destroys, that was a little bit fast, destroys the religion to build a lab, so he wants more science. One science production isn't quite enough for him. He feels like he might want to improve that with just having spent all of his science on the team sports. And with that, he doesn't need the religion that he built last turn. Feels a little bit bad, but he destroys that, builds philosophy instead, and then an efficient upgrade and an opera. And he will leave Napoleon, so if Weida wants that, if Weida wants to be stronger once again, that isn't going to be the biggest problem for him. And we will see that. Weida goes for a war back on EnderWiggin with going for this war over technology. Can use the wave of nationalism even. Go for Napoleon. Destroy a mine. Destroy a lab. Go for another army. 26 strength. This game has become quite mad here overall. And he will even have corruption. I mean, Weida had so many he had 4 mines and 3 philosophies at some point. Now he has just the 2 bronze and 0 philosophies. So he's destroyed so many buildings. That is so expensive. I don't know if he's coming out on top here. I think it's quite expensive what he's doing. He will even have corruption here. I mean, must be feeling pretty bad for him that he's missing 1 science to maybe go for cannons. That could have been pretty good with Napoleon, but yeah, at least he will have this war over technology. So he will get some extra science from EnderWiggin probably, because EnderWiggin will lose Zizka. He doesn't have any extra science. He could of course destroy a couple of buildings as well, rebuild them as warriors with patriotism maybe, but let's see how EnderWiggin wants to respond to this. He will open the Reign of Terror, so we finally know what was the top card that these 2 players have been playing around. Goes for Gaudi. Replaces Zizka, goes for Organized Religion to spend all of his science, increases population, grabs a breakthrough and another breakthrough. So he's gonna give up the... No, he's not. He is. He's gonna... No, he's just quite defending this strategy. This is a very genius move. He has 1 science now that Weida can steal. And he has exactly enough strength to protect his strategy. Strategy, of course, costs 8 science. So if Weida had won this by 8 strength or more, he would have stolen the strategy. But like this, EnderWiggin says, okay, you win by 7, but 7 is not enough to steal my strategy. I have no other I have no other blue tech, so you can't steal that. Be happy with your 1 science that you can steal. So this war that was very expensive for Weida will give him 1 total science. That could still be important, because that will give Weida enough to go for cannons. As we will see here, one science stolen, the smallest war over technology I've ever seen. And we will see another card, Rats. Weida losing 4 food, EnderWiggin losing 2, but Weida even has an uprising here. Can go for the sewers. Maybe this will save him, maybe that will give him yellow cubes. And it looks like, yes, that is the developed territory. 5 science, very, very good. Not too much rock production still. Only having this 1 colony is gonna give him 3 rocks now. At least it stabilizes Yellow Bank. He doesn't have an uprising anymore. He's still stronger. But the game feels like it's running away from Weida, with him having destroyed so many of his buildings and having put everything into military. For him, it hasn't really worked out. Yeah, he defended the war, was able to steal 1 yellow cube and 1 science with the 2nd war now. Doesn't feel like that's going to be enough. How does the culture look at the moment? We have 39 to 37. That is super close. Rock production is close. And science is also close. 0 to 1. And strength, Weida is still ahead. So The big advantage that EnderWiggin has is his hand and his civil actions. But is that gonna be enough? Let's find out as we go into age 3 here. EnderWiggin will push, and we get the new deposits. Total of 6 rocks gained. We'll upgrade one of his temples. Grab the revolutionary idea. That is a great tech for him. Go for railroad. Alright, that's not the biggest railroad. Does he also want to go for coal? Let's find out. No, builds one stage. So just the railroad for the strength, because he doesn't have enough science to go for oil. So railroad just for the 5 strength, and I guess 1 extra rock production might be enough to pay for itself at some point. I guess he has no population, so what does he do if Weida goes for war? And we now can just go for the railroad. He will have enough rocks for that. But if he didn't grab that, he would have to destroy things. And he does not have any food, so he couldn't just increase. Yeah, it's a weird game, and it is a weird wonder in his position, but maybe the one that he needs, maybe the 5 strength that he can gain here is all that he wants from this wonder. He's at 43 culture to 44. Autonomous territory, and EnderWiggin actually able to win this one. I mean, EnderWiggin did have the advantage of drawing extra cards from the Colossus, but he can only use, or he only has to use his H2 cards. So this is very big. Him winning the autonomous territory for an army, yeah, granted that is expensive, but still very good deal for him, I would say. And Weida, I mean, he would have loved that colony. He needs civil actions, he wants military actions, and he wants colonies with the sewers. So if he had won that autonomous, it would have changed things a lot. You will now grab the fundamentalism. I mean, I see that as a little bit problematic, because right now he needs the happy face from theocracy. And fundamentalism on top of theocracy, yeah, you gain 5 extra strength, but you lose the happiness, and this is still expensive. He doesn't have the science for it at the moment. Could do a revolution, but that is a very expensive revolution. I guess he won't have the downside of -2 science because he's already at 0. So that could be a hidden advantage, and he can actually, I mean, we see his plan still going on. He can actually go for cannon this turn and then still do the revolution for fundamentalism in the turn after this. Okay, this game is getting weirder and weirder. So why does Weida destroys religion? I would guess because next turn Weida will go for the fundamentalism revolution. We'll have exactly 5 rocks and will build another cannon. You will have an uprising, but I think you will be fine with that. He doesn't have any production anyway. I mean, for that you can skip your corruption, skip your production and just have the uprising. But yeah, he can do the revolution into fundamentalism next turn and build another cannon, so he's preparing for that. Either means he has a war, or he feels like he 100% will need a war in his next turn or in his next draw to be able to win this game, because yeah, he's going all in. Let's say it like that, he's going all in. And how does EnderWiggin respond? He can finish his railroad. We'll go up to 19 strength. Grab a patriotism, so yeah, he does everything. He sees the same as Weida, of course. He knows that Weida wants to go for war. He gets the patriotism, so he now has 2 of those in hand, and with that railroad, 4 rock production, I guess. Getting 1 more rock production could be important, that 1 little rock that he gains here. But let's see if Weida has the war that he really needs now. He does. A war of a culture will hit EnderWiggin. And then we're going to see the revolution. We're going to see another cannon. Do we see a tactic as well? No extra tactic. But 39 strength from Weida. Still fulfilling the old tactic, but with Napoleon getting 6 extra strength. And then also the fundamentalism. So yeah, he does have the corruption. So he skips the 1 culture production, the 3 rock. I mean, that's all. That's a pretty cheap uprising for him. 3 rocks and 1 culture to have the uprising. Could be worse. EnderWiggin will open the Prosperity. That at least means he won't have to destroy as much. Getting up to 10 food. Can pop twice. No sign. I mean, it's a revolutionary idea that could work. But no, looks like we're gonna get medieval army from him as well. Build a knight, build a warrior. Grab the endowment, destroy a mine, destroy another mine. And then another warrior and another knight. So 32. 32 to 39. This will give the lead to Weida. But Weida, I mean, yeah, he had to skip his production, but that means he has nothing now. If he has another war, yeah, he should be able to pull off another war, because EnderWiggin also only has 2 rock production. But does Weida have that? Alright, what a game, what a game. No culture fest at all. Weida will gain 12 culture, so 58 to 42. And no extra war, alright. I guess I was wrong. 1 extra war, the Cold War. So Weida will gain 6 science, getting him up to 6 now. And then goes for Mandela. Destroy your last 2 mines. At least he still has 1 rock production, thanks to that Suez Canal. I mean, this is such an empty civilization. I don't know if I've ever seen such an empty civilization this early on. I mean, it's still middle of age 3. There's still 2 or 3 turns left. Probably rather 2, but still. Just having nothing here. Just the 1 mine to feed your military and nothing besides this. This is the unbalanced civilization. The most unbalanced civilization I've ever seen. He will grab military theory. I mean, if he gets revolutionary idea, he can go for that and could go for another war. Will stay stronger at least. Gains 2 culture production from Mandela. But EnderWiggin now. Ooh, that is very, very impactful. Civil unrest, so Weida will lose 8 culture for his 2 discounted workers. And 8 culture is a lot in a game like this. That is, yeah, more than 10% of what they have at the moment. And they don't have the highest production either. EnderWiggin now goes for satellites and revolutionary ideas, so he gets that one, meaning Weida will not get any extra tax. EnderWiggin can play the endowment and grab an efficient upgrade. So he will stay weaker for now. There is 1 more H2 card, either played by Weida or EnderWiggin, we don't know. And this mechanized agriculture could definitely mean there is the import of agriculture in already from EnderWiggin. So yeah, just grabbing a bunch of cards, having a little bit of science, a revolutionary idea, and 2 breakthroughs. And still the 4 culture production. Weida opens the national pride, so that gives him back 5 of the culture that he just lost. Military buildup, urban growth, and reserves. Yeah, he can do nothing besides taking yellow cards and the urban growth. Maybe can build 1 or 2 religions. Maybe use the reserves for food, get 1 more pop out. Yeah, or just build a couple of religions. Yeah, nothing else to do. He has just the 1 rock. You can't build much with just 1 rock. And that will also mean we start into age number 4. EnderWiggin loses Gaudi, EnderWiggin loses 2 breakthroughs, the opera and the journalism. So quite important that Weida ended the age here. Also means EnderWiggin won't get another card draw of those precious impacts. But he wins the impact of science. 1 science to 0. So EnderWiggin takes this impact of science 10 culture swing. And with that already it's looking quite good for him, I would say. And indeed he will go for food production. So I'm pretty confident to say there is gonna be an impact of agriculture. And my neighbor started drilling holes, so I had to pause for a second. But we're back immediately and we see the food being upgraded from EnderWiggin, reserves and efficient upgrade in his hand. And now Weida with his last turn will reveal the impact of competition. 8 to 6, that is okay for him. Then religion, can go for another religion, destroy warrior probably, and yet another religion. No, a farm, so he will get the bonus from the input of agriculture. Civil service to deny it. Movies also to deny, probably. Alright, so 83 culture for him here at the end of this game. EnderWiggin will reveal the input of agriculture, 7 to 14. That will give the lead to EnderWiggin, who now can increase pop once. Go for the satellites. Uses rocks to build a mine. And another mine, so impact of industry will be in here as well, as he builds a 4th mine, so he's up to 5 rock production, more than we've seen this entire game. And then we get the impacts. Culture, that is enough for Weida to get the top, so that was 100% played by Weida, 100 to 93 now. We get strength right back, 103 to 100. Then we get industry 5 to 0, and the last one is gonna be variety 12 to 10, and this means enough for EnderWiggin will take this game. And what a game it was. I mean, I love a game like this. I mean, maybe not every game should be like this. If this would be one of the first games you see on this channel, TDA normally doesn't get this messy. This was definitely one of the messiest games I've seen in a long time. But yeah, great job by EnderWiggin for coming out on top in this messy game. He started it also, to be honest. He saw that Weida would be getting the Acropolis, would be getting, he got the early drama. But he said, nope, not on my watch. I will make this game not go as a normal one. No printing presses. No Culture Fest, no Bach, no Shakespeare. This game is going to be different, and it worked out for him. I mean, it was close, but I think it was the right decision playing against your opponent who has the Acropolis, who has spent 3 civil actions on the Acropolis, and then also went for the early drama. It would have been hard for EnderWiggin to just say, alright, I'll play this normally and go for printing press myself. Would have always felt like he would be behind, especially with this, the Acropolis. So he goes for a different kind of game, forces his opponent to play the same, and he comes out on top. So congratulations to EnderWiggin for this first win. And with that, I would say, yeah, I am excited to see the rest of the games. Potentially 4 more coming, so hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you next time as well.